Now all things are of God, who has reconciled us to himself through Jesus Christ and has given us the ministry of reconciliation. A lot of times when I was teaching Bible college, for years, young students would ask me, Pastor, how do I figure out what I'm called to do? What's my ministry? I said, start with this one, and God will continue to open doors. What is this one? Our job as Christians is the ministry of reconciliation is to let every person that we come in contact with that will let us speak into their life. I'm not talking about running up to total strangers. I'm talking about people that we have a sphere of influence with. It's somebody we do business with. It's a family member. It's a co-worker. It's a friend. Those people that we're in contact with, we are called, and each person that knows Jesus is given the ministry of reconciliation, which simply means this. In layman's terms, just making it as simple as I can, is letting every person you have influence with, letting them know God is not ticked off at them. See, I grew up all my life thinking God was mad at me and just waiting for me to miss it one more time, and that was going to be it. That is not any way to grow up. Now I know so much better. God loves me and there's nothing I can do about it. And it doesn't matter what my behavior is. He's still going to love me. He may not be pleased with my behavior just like you wouldn't be your kids, but He's going to love you. And He's going to help you. There's a song, I just heard it this morning coming to church. When you see broken, He sees mended. When you see wasted, He sees redeemed. I'm putting words to that. I'm not sure that's part of the song, but the broken He sees mended is. See, God sees us different than we see ourselves. Our job as ambassadors of Christ, if you go on and read this whole passage, it talks about that. Our job is to let other people know that God's not looking at their brokenness, He's looking at their redeemedness. He doesn't want you where you're at if you're broken and where you're in despair and maybe you're out in sin or whatever. He doesn't want you there, but that's not what He focuses on. He focuses on where He wants to get you to. See, when He kept the guy from pulling the trigger back when I was 15 years old, just one example, of pulling the trigger, when God kept that from happening, He's seen today. He wasn't looking at where I was at then, because if He had looked at where I was at then or where I was going to be in the next few years, my life and how productive or non-productive it was going to be, been just as well for Him to go ahead and pull the trigger, because nothing good was happening. See, God's seen beyond that, and He does for your life. He does everybody. When you see broken, He sees mended. That's how you walk out your faith. You get the same vision God has. God's not looking at your mistakes. He's looking at your victories. Just like you do your kids. I mean, your kid. Think about it. I've used this illustration thousands of times. You got a 2-year-old or whatever, and they start walking. You're not even focused on them falling down. You could care less. You're just excited when they take one step. I was trying to teach Emma to ride the bike the other day. I was trying not to focus. I was trying to help her to focus on the victory, because she wanted to fall over. That's what happens when you ride a bike. But I didn't think she was a disgrace because she couldn't ride a bicycle. I thought she was absolutely wonderful. God's not ticked off at you. That's our ministry. What I'm sharing with you is what you're called to share with everybody you come in contact with. You don't have to share it the way I do. You can say it your own way, but that's the message that needs to go forth.